Welcome back to Starkiller Base. Today we have the featured match from round 2 of the Black Knight Games February 2017 Winter Kit. On the left we have Juan playing eQui-Gonn Rey, and on the right we have Jenna playing eHan Rey. Looks like Juan brought the Echo Base to the table, which is the battlefield that gives you a shield when you claim, and Jenna is bringing the Starship Graveyard, which is no surprise in a eHan Rey deck. It looks like Jenna wins initiative, and she's picking the Starship Graveyard as the active battlefield. Definitely a good choice. Both players are using the alt arts that I created, so if you don't recognize the cards there, you can tell that that is eQui-Gonn Rey and eHan Rey there, hopefully. Looks like the players did a little backwards there. You're actually supposed to draw your 5 cards, do your mulligan, and then roll off for initiative and choose the battlefield. Alright, so Jenna's rolling in eHan. She gets a 1 resource and a 3 range for 1. No hold that blaster, action 1 for her. Really dangerous play is playing a hold that blaster on Rey, action 1, rolling in eHan, and then trying to disrupt your opponent's resources before they get to spend any. So Juan's playing deflect and deflecting the 3 range for 1 into eHan. So eHan's going to take 2 damage from that. In the eHan Rey deck, it's definitely good to kill eHan first if you can and get rid of him before those second chances come out. Jenna rolls in Rey and gets 2 + 1 resources, so she can definitely have some money if she needs it. And Juan is rolling in Rey, gets a resource and a discard. One trick to fighting against the eQui-Gonn Rey deck is to make sure that eQui-Gonn doesn't have any shields. It's very tempting to kill Rey first and get rid of the dice, especially if she's getting upgrades and that sort of thing on her. But the number of cards that don't do damage in that deck anymore, if eQui-Gonn doesn't have a shield on him when he plays it, is pretty high. So if you can, hit him for 1 and take away that shield, it's pretty good. So Jenna's taken the 3 resources, and Juan took 1 resource. I think Jen's got a big upgrade in her hand here. If she's singing that long, maybe she's got more than 1. Woo! Putting out 1 with the force, turn 1. Wow. That is a powerful, powerful card to start the game off with. Now she just needs to get some more dice out that she can actually use that focus to effect with. eQui-Gonn's rolling in here. Gets 2 blanks. And Jenna is electroshocking the 1 discard from Rey there. So Juan's going to have to re-roll here, or otherwise he's not going to be doing too much. Just note the resources on Jenna's side up at the top there are spent. So Juan pays 1 for use the force and sets eQui-Gonn's die to a 2 melee. Putting that pressure on eHan turn 1 is really good, especially since Jenna is not appearing to have any shields for him, or any ambush effects to gain shields. So Jenna claimed, Juan's putting 2 melee damage into eHan, so eHan's almost half dead now. If you can get him out turn 2 or something like that, the game's pretty much over. So Juan plays defensive stance on eQui-Gonn, removes a shield to ping eHan for 1, and then puts 2 shields on eQui-Gonn, I'm guessing. The way eQui-Gonn works is if you have a shield on you, when you go to gain a shield, you can remove 1 shield to do 1 damage to an opponent's character. So yeah, I think you'll hear Juan say ping you for 1 a lot. So Jenna is discarding shoot first because it's not going to do a whole heck of a lot against her opponent's deck. And we have a new round starting. I was going to say Juan's got his dice in their little tray there and there's no secrets, but I see yellow dice in there, so obviously that's probably not entirely his deck. So Jenna starts off by rolling in Ray. She gets one resource, and the 3 range on the one with the force die. So you can already see the power of that upgrade, but it certainly costs a lot, so it better be good, right? Juan's a very meticulous player. He plays at my shop, and much like I suggest to people, he likes to take those extra few seconds before making a decision so that he can ensure that he makes the right one. So if Jenna can get some bigger upgrades out for Han or for Ray, like a DL44 or something like that, then that focus on that one with the force die can be really brutal. I mean, you can already focus Han to 4 damage on his sides and not have to pay anything. Looks like Juan's paying 2 for dodge and getting rid of that one with the force die. Jenna resolves the 2 resources on Ray. And then Juan rolls in his Ray and gets a +2 melee and a 1 resource. Jenna puts out a DL44 on Han, gets the shield, and now she's exercising the ability on it, so Juan has to remove one of his dice. Qui-Gonn's got a lot of melee sides, so that +2 might be pretty useful if he's trying to take out Han. So for the ambush ability, Jenna's rolling in Han. She gets a blank, a 2 disrupt, and 1 resource. I don't think she's rolled much in the way of damage size this game so far. Juan comes in with Qui-Gonn with a blank and a 2 melee, so there's 4 melee damage on the board there. Jen plays Scramble and forces Juan to reroll all his dice. He gets a 2 melee, a resource, and a blank. So it is slightly better for Jenna, damage-wise anyway. Juan puts 2 damage into Han. Han's got 4 hit points left, so if Jenna can find a second chance before Han takes too much more damage, this could be a really interesting game. She's discarding to reroll Han's dice there. Gets a 1 resource, a 3 range for 1, and a 1 resource. So her deck definitely is making some money. Juan takes the resource on Ray there. Jenna discards to reroll. Gets a blank, a 3 range for 1. So unfortunately, she can't pay for both of those. So Jenna's put a DL44 in the discard pile there, so Juan may want to consider claiming just to prevent that from coming out again next turn. It looks like Juan passes here.
I'll pay 1 and I'll deal 3 to Ray.
Jenna's putting 3 damage into Ray. So I know Juan personally, like I said, and he actually does not own 1 with the force, or at least did not at the time, so he doesn't have 1 with the force in his deck. So he plays Willpower, puts 1 damage into Han, so Han's that much closer to being dead. And then Jenna plays Draw Attention and moves 2 from Han into Ray. That's definitely not what Juan wanted to see, but he should probably claim now and stop her from putting the DL44 on top of her deck. It's more dangerous when Ray's got a DL44 on her already, because you can just overwrite it on top of itself to get 2 actions and give Han a shield. So Juan discards the lightsaber and rerolls Ray's die to get a discard. Jenna claims, puts the DL44 on top of her deck. I guess it's okay to discard an upgrade on one side there, since he knows which battlefield he's playing with. But he should definitely try to get some dice out there. Jenna's got 7 resources worth of upgrades out there, and Juan's basically spent all of his money on events, it looks like. So Jenna's starting off with a holdout blaster, which gives her 2 actions and puts a shield on Han. It looks like she might have forgotten that though. She rolls in Rey. Gets a +2 melee, a +2 melee, a 2 range for 1, and a 2 focus. Second action rolls in Han. Han gets 2 blanks and a resource, which is obviously not what Jenna wanted to see there. So she essentially has 4 dice that are doing nothing, but that 2 focus will definitely help out. Juan loves his mind tricks, and this is definitely a great place to play it. So Jenna's now going to have to split her dice into 2 equal pools, and Juan will get to choose and remove one of those pools of dice. So it looks like there'll be a group of 4 and a group of 3. So the Rey dice and the Han dice are kind of even at this point, but you definitely get more value re-rolling the Han dice than the Rey dice because he's got those 2 damage sides. Seems like a good choice. I think I'd probably still get rid of the one with the force there. Focus will guarantee that Jenna can get what she wants, whereas re-rolling might not. She doesn't have any money to pay for the 2 range for 1. But she'd have to resolve the Han die, and in resolving the Han die, she's removing more damage from the board. Let's see what Juan does here. So Juan's getting rid of those 4 there. And Jenna went back and took her shield. That is definitely something you should ask your opponent, I think. But, you know, in winter kits and that sort of thing, most people are just fine to do it, as long as it hasn't been too long. I guess Jenna doesn't really have much to focus that into. She doesn't have any money, so she can focus the Han die into 2 range and the Rey die into 1 melee if she's looking for damage. Or I guess the Rey die into a resource and the Han die into a 3 for 1. But I'd be careful because deflect will make the 3 for 1 do more damage. But 1 has no money, of course. So that won't be happening. 1 rolls in Rey, gets a +1 resource and a +2 melee. Jenna resolves the resource die. 1 rolls in Qui-Gonn, gets a blank and a 1 melee. And Jenna's putting 3 more damage into Rey with that Han die. 1 does 3 damage to Han there. Now, if Juan is planning on re-rolling those dice, he may have wanted to consider leaving the melee damage out there, so that if the +2 melee damage on Rey comes out, he could still resolve it. So 1 re-rolls, he gets a resource and a 2 shield. So Qui-Gonn will be fully shielded and pinging Han for 1, or I guess he could start defending Rey a little bit there. Juan definitely has a disparity in dice here, so it's going to be very difficult for him. The longer this game goes on, the harder it's going to be for him to get ahead.
I'm just going to put the 3 on there so I'm not confused.
So Jenna was just doing a little bit of accounting there. Just be careful when you see your opponent do something like that. Make sure that they do get it properly. I've seen people make change and change 1s into 3s and vice versa and do it wrong. So I don't think that anyone would do it maliciously, but you never know. So always keep an eye on your opponent. And it's always difficult when they've got their damage hiding behind the dice like that. I like to put my tokens next to the card as opposed to on top of it, so it's a bit easier to see.
So I'm going to play this, replacing this one.
So Jenna's overriding the DL44 with the DL44, which is a pretty classic Han Rey play. Gives Han a shield. And for her second action, she's playing Unpredictable to reroll Qui-Gonn's die, which is another ambush effect. And she forgot the shield again, it looks like. She claims and puts the DL44 on top. Juan discards the reroll and gets a 2 melee. Wow.
It's all you, I already claimed.
So Han takes 2, and he only has 2 hit points left.
He only takes 1.
So if Jenna can pull out a second chance, then first action she can overwrite that DL44, and Han will be okay. Oh, Juan plays riposte and kills Han. Wow. And then passes. So even though Juan has no upgrades out there, he's winning this game pretty handily, it looks like. He's done at least 12 damage, and Jenna's only done 4.
I'm gonna discard 2 and draw 5.
Once Han dies in a Han Ray deck, generally, it's gonna be pretty rough. If the Han Ray deck is running lightsabers and that sort of thing, then Ray's got some pretty good punch on her own. But with the range damage out there and Ray's dice as being the only source of melee, chances are those +2s aren't getting much done. Jenna's just lamenting that her deck wasn't liking her very much this game.
Was not liking me this game.
And she definitely got a lot of resources out there, but
Okay, I will.
overriding one with the Force. Wow, with a DL44. So she gets that ability to roll in.
And then I will pay 2 for Holdout Blaster.
Whew, a holdout blaster too.
So
So
I just need 3 actions.
Ray's definitely got a lot of actions, but the issue is that she's got no money to pay for those pay sides. So let's see what she gets here. So that's action number 1. She rolls in. She gets a shield, 2 blanks, a 1 melee, and a 2 range for 1. And you see the problem with not having any money.
Discard to reroll.
Second action out of 3. She's discarding to reroll. She gets a resource, a shield, a blank, and a blank. So I guess she can resolve the range damage eventually, but those rolls are not helping her out very much.
No, so
Ambush and ambush. And here. So it's 3.
so 4 because I played 2 upgrades, so I should have 2 more actions.
I think the accounting's a little bit off there.
Upgrade.
You play the DL44, it gives you 2 actions.
I'll discard.
You play the holdout blaster, it gives you 2 actions but costs you 1, so she would only have 3 actions in total. So she discarded to reroll again. She's got a melee, a blank, a 2 range for 1, and a 3 range. So she can resolve 3 range damage and a melee eventually, but those 2 pay sides are not doing much for her.
Deal 3 to Ray.
I think she may have had 1 too many actions there, but hopefully it doesn't matter too much.
Ray's gonna swing.
Juan rolls in Ray, gets +2 melee and a +2 melee, so if he can connect those with Qui-Gonn's melee size, that can be a lot of damage. Jenna rerolls again, gets a 1 resource and a +2 melee.
7.
So you can see the trouble she's having here with Han being gone. Qui-Gonn rolls in, gets a blank and a shield.
I'll gain a resource.
Jenna takes a resource. So Ray's got 3 hit points left, and Jenna can't kill her this round, but she's gonna be pretty darn close. I think Juan should try to reroll and get some melee.
Mind trick.
Interesting.
Divide the pool, right?
So Juan plays Mind Trick. I'm not sure that I would have bothered at that point, but that was interesting.
Almost there.
He gets rid of the +2 melee and the 2 range for 1, and then Jenna resolves the 2 ranged into Ray, so Ray has 1 hit point left. I think I'd be discarding and rerolling Qui-Gonn's dice this turn. So he plays Take Cover, gets a shield.
Pass.
Jenna claims.
1 shield.
So Juan takes the shield on Qui-Gonn and uses his ability to ping Ray for 1, as he says.
Pitch this.
Juan is discarding Force Throw. He's got a 1 in 3 chance of getting a melee side on Qui-Gonn's die. It's not too bad. He's rerolling everything. Okay, that works too. And it worked out for him, I guess. Gets a 1 discard, a 1 melee, and a 2 melee.
3 more damage.
So Juan puts 3 more damage into Ray. Ray's got 4 hit points left. It's not looking good for Jenna here.
I don't have cards, so start.
I'm really impressed that Juan's deck is doing this. He has no upgrades out. Those events are doing some heavy lifting for him, that's for sure.
How much left on Ray?
Just 6, so you need 4 to kill her.
That's quite the wall of dice Jenna has in front of those damage tokens. So Juan was just asking how much she had left. So Jenna's rolling in Ray. She gets a 3 ranged, a blank, a resource, a +2 ranged, and a discard. So
One. Deflect.
Juan has the deflect just in time. Wow.
It's 2 damage.
Puts 2 damage into Ray and saves his side of the board from taking 5 damage. So Jenna's Ray only has 2 hit points left here.
I'm gonna play unpredictable, and I'm gonna re-roll this die.
Jenna's playing unpredictable, re-rolling a hold up blaster die. It gets back to a blank again. Or I think it was a resource, sorry.
I'm gonna re-roll these 3.
Jenna discards, re-rolls. Gets a discard, 1 melee, and a blank. So she's having some trouble getting the die side she's looking for, but her dice are kind of mismatched at this point with Ray with the melee sides and her hold up blasters with the range sides, unfortunately. Juan rolls in Ray, gets a 1 melee and a +2 melee. And then Jenna quickly kills off Juan's Ray with the 1 melee die there. Juan puts out it binds all things.
The cost of your upgrades, right?
It's awfully late in the game, but maybe he can get some use out of it.
Yeah, I'll discard. I'll discard.
Jenna discards Force Throw and is re-rolling some dice. There we go. Gets a discard and a 2 range for 1, so she's got 4 damage there. She can put into Qui-Gonn. Qui-Gonn comes in, gets a 2 melee and 2 shields, so this isn't looking good.
1 for electroshock. I'll remove the 2.
2 shields for me.
Wow, they're playing fast. Jenna electroshocked the 2 melee, but she does not have a yellow character, so that was an illegal move. And then Juan takes the 2 shields
Qui-Gonn.
and puts 1 into Ray with that ability of his.
4.
Jenna puts 4 damage into Qui-Gonn,
I'll clean.
and Juan claims. And then Jenna's resolving that 1 discard. And hits the Force Training.
I'm gonna discard and I'm gonna draw 5.
So Juan is first here. Jenna has only 1 hit point left, so if he can get something going, just roll in Qui-Gonn and take her out quick, he's okay. If he had a shield on him, left over from the last round, he could use the shield ability to take out Ray if he had some way to do that, but he does not have a shield, so I have to generate one first before I can use it to kill Ray. And still no upgrades out on Juan there. He's using it binds all things and paying 1 for a Force Training, so it looks like he found his other Force Training there.
Keep forgetting to turn that back. I'll
With only 1 hit point left on Ray, I think it would probably have been easier just to roll in Qui-Gonn and try to take her out. But Qui-Gonn still has 9 hit points left, so it's going to be a lot of work for Ray to take him out.
Yeah.
So Jenna rolls in Ray, gets a blank, a +1 resource, a discard, and a shield, so that's unfortunate. Qui-Gonn comes in with a blank, a 2 melee, and a 1 resource. So unless Jenna's got an answer to that 2 melee, it's over. So there's the GG. So thanks for watching this round 2. We've got 2 more rounds of Swiss coming, and then a full top 4 and finals, so keep an eye out for that. Round 3 should be coming in the next few days. If you like the video, please do subscribe to the channel and like the video, and we'll continue to bring you Destiny content. Thanks for watching, everybody.